I'm Kazul of Kazplay, and it's that time of year again when I start building and planning for my BlizzCon cosplay. And last year it was so much fun doing my updates on Twitter and having everybody watch along as I built this guy. And so this year I want to do it again, and I added something new, and that's video updates. So let's do this. This year I'm making King Genn Greymane. He's the king of Gilneas in the Worgen, and I'm so excited to build him. And you may recall in my Gorn Garb video that I said I was getting a little burnt out of wearing these huge, heavy, hard-to-wear costumes. And so fortunately I have a husband who's eager and willing to wear the cosplay, so he is going to be Genn Greymane this year. Everyone say hi to Frosty Fox. You may know him from Twitter. He has done a wonderful job the past 3 years being my handler at BlizzCon. Yeah. Like, he makes sure that I can navigate through tight, dark places, make sure I have water and take breaks, and yeah, make sure I'm aiming my face at a camera. So,
basically helping you survive.
Yeah. Very true. So, but he's done an awesome job, but this year it's my turn. It's my turn. I get to be that to you.
You don't want to be a monster?
I do want to be a monster, but I'm happy to help you out. So, now that it's your turn to cosplay, how excited are you to experience the convention in a different way?
I am extremely excited because it's been a long time coming. Back a long time ago, back in 2008 even, I wanted to cosplay at BlizzCon. I just didn't know how or have the ability to. So now I finally get my chance, after all these years, to debut a cosplay at BlizzCon, and it's going to be outstanding, so I can't wait.
Yes. Now, are you nervous about walking across the stage? Because there's like 20,000 people watching you and more on the stream?
I'm not really nervous about walking across the stage as much as just hoping that I don't fall or something like that. But of course I could go down in BlizzCon history that way, so we never know what's going to happen.
So it'll be good either way.
Yeah.
Okay, so what makes you excited to cosplay as Genn Greymane specifically?
I am an avid fan of the Worgen. I mean, the podcast that we're on, the Worgen's How, pretty much all of my characters on Alliance are Worgen, so you know, to be able to represent Gilneas in that way, to be able to be the king of Gilneas, I will be super excited to do that and to be able to grace everyone with his presence.
Yeah, and he's a lot taller than me too, so I would fail. I would be like the tiniest little King Greymane, but you'll do a better job.
I will make a good showing out of it. I will make him proud and tall and I don't know, kingly.
Yes, that's the most important part. He's going to be regal and awesome. I'm excited to build it, and I'm excited that you get the chance to perform in that.
I can't wait.
Now for this video, I want to go over all the steps that I've gone through in my research and planning of this costume. In my opinion, that's one of the most important things you can do when preparing to make a cosplay. Is doing a ton of research, gathering all the reference images you can, and specifically planning out how you want your costume, your finished product to look, and so that you can easily conceptualize it and everything. So yeah, this project has actually been on my mind for about 2 years. Like Frosty said, we've been wanting to do it for forever, but things came up and we weren't able to, like between health and moving, we just weren't able to get to it. But now this year, there's nothing going to stop us from building this project. Now, the first problem I wanted to solve while planning this cosplay is really how I want Genn to look, because he's had several looks across the games that he's been in, from the Alpha Cataclysm to now in Heroes of the Storm. He has a very wide range of looks. So I've gathered up all my concepts and I've drawn my own concepts. So let's go to my computer and I'll show you all those, tell you what I like and dislike about each one, and it'll be fun to see. Okay, here we are with probably what I think is the most iconic concept art, the first concept art of Genn Greymane. I love this one. This is partly why I fell in love with the worgen. Just look at the style of these buildings and the atmosphere. I love werewolves, so that's was an easy stride to make. But look at these cool braids and like his cool tusk ring. I love the striking blue eyes and the scar across his face. The details in this armor piece that's on him, and you can kind of see the Greymane symbol. And just his coat, that deep brown color, these cool claw armor things, down to the detail in the sword hilt and the tassel and this cool rifle. Yeah, I love this piece. So this is kind of like the first one that was like, yes, I have to build a cosplay of that character. But then I was a little unsure of how to make him because these look a little different than the in-game worgen. So let's go look at that, starting with this is the alpha version, the Cataclysm alpha version of the worgen. You can see their mouth is a little closed. They have a little different hair. This is actually Genn, as he was in the alpha. What I liked about this is that he had the white hair, the white mane around, and he's wearing the same clothes as he was in the first one, or in actual Cataclysm. But it was cool, but I really liked this closed mouth. I like that they had the blue eyes. I liked, like I said, the white hair, because in actual Cataclysm, oh, you can see here more the closed lip versus there. They also, in between the alpha face and the live face, you can see in the eyebrow that they bumped up the shapes of the eyebrow. Everything else is pretty much the same except for the snarl in here. What I love about this snarl is like the little details of the lips. It looks just like my dog's lip. I love it. Anyway, going back, here's the Cataclysm human form Genn. You can see his clothes are the same as they were in the alpha. But this is how his worgen form looked, which, you know, I guess it sort of fit. His eyes are yellow, which didn't really make sense. I guess you can't really tell what color his eyes are in here. But his mane is gray. Haha, get it? And, you know, I didn't like that because in the comic book, I think that's the next picture. Yeah, the comic book that came out around the same kind of as Cataclysm showed Greymane having white hair, and I thought that was such an interesting, cool character. I mean, look at this. It's so cool. And his clothes are a little different, but that's addressed in the next model update that he had. But yeah, the white hair and the really cool mustache, facial hair, and just being really bad A. I love it. Anyway, oh, this is also the trading card game, which I thought was interesting that they kind of had some similarities to this squiggly pattern that's on the vest. Interesting. But here was the first Legion update that we got. Now you can see that his clothes are very similar to the comic book one, which is cool. I like the update to his garments. It makes him look really kingly. I'm not super sold on the colors. I know that they went this way for Heroes too, with the blue and the gold. But I was such a fan of the original, like the concept art, the first image I showed you, that, I don't know, I liked the brown. But anyway, they started going with this blue and also into Heroes. This is from a promotional image of Heroes. You can see I love that they brought back the blue eyes and the cool Greymane symbol on this pauldron piece, and how it's all ripped apart. That's really unique. I think I'll keep him more sophisticated. But here's his Heroes concept art. You can see they kind of kept like the same motif with these little pointies on his shoulder pieces, the same kind of vest. I think that these pants look a little clowny to me, so I don't think I'd like this. But what I really like about this is the detail you can see on his pistol and his sword, because I do want this cosplay to have some props. So this sword, I really love the shape of this. And I think I could take this blade and combine it with the hilt of the first painting of him and maybe come up with a really neat looking sword. But here's his in-game worgen form from Heroes. And, you know, it's okay. The blue eyes I really like, but, you know, not really a huge fan of this one. But there was recently a new Legion update that changed the color of his robe to this, which I loved this. Now, just imagine little pops of blue like the first one. You can see Greymane has gotten old. They've actually made his hair white, which I love, and given him that, you know, just that really cool character look. And I love browns, so I love how this cloak looks. They also updated his worgen form. These are all from MMO Champ. So they made him kind of an all-white worgen. I wish that his eyes in worgen form were blue, but, you know, I like that they kept the brown. I like that they added some more scruff around him and on his shoulders. I think it's really neat. So, but with all those images and official versions of Genn that there are, I had a hard time knowing, you know, how I'm going to make this character look, like when I actually build him. And in talking with my husband, because his opinion matters, I think we're gonna kind of stick a little more to this one. Now, I'll make some more changes, like with the face. I want to keep a little of that in-game worgen look in the face. But what I love about this one, like I've said, the blue eyes are really important to me. I want really striking blue eyes. This scar is really neat, so I want to be able to keep that. I love this brown cloak and the detail that you can see in it. I want to try to achieve that level of detail in it. Like I said, I love the handle on this sword and maybe can bring in some elements of that. I love the subtlety and the fine detail of this pauldron, how it's not like a Warcraft usual, like gigantic pauldron. His claws are really neat. It's cool to see this translucency in it, and maybe I can cast something to have a little bit of that translucency. Anyway, I really dig the fang ornament and these cool braids, which I'm definitely going to incorporate. So this is mainly what I'm going to focus on. Now, let me pull up my concept art that I've done so I can further show you a little more of the direction that I'm going. Okay, so this is the first piece of worgen art that I drew of Genn Greymane, kind of picking out the pieces that I would need of the costume. I'm not very skilled in my clothing, sewing, or drawing, so this was a new thing for me. So this is about 2 years old, this drawing, but you see I pulled out the braids, gave him kind of the typical worgen snarl and all that. And I even went as far as to prototype the head out already. I built this really quickly out of cardboard just to see if I could, you know, just to test out the size and proportion. I figured out that from this cardboard model I need to make the muzzle a little longer, but also testing out the position that I want the head to be carried in. So you see that's my husband modeling in the background, holding it up to his face. We got a lot of good pictures out of this and trying to narrow down how we want the head to be held on the body to give it the best body shape effect. Also, this was another quick drawing I did of the face, bringing in the real intense snarl of the in-game worgen. And I wasn't too sold on this because I still wanted him to seem fierce and strong, but maybe this was a little too fierce and wild because he needs to be regal because he's a king too. So this was probably the direction that I will go in, more focused on the very kingly attitude of this one, but still putting my own flair on it. You know, with the real intense eye that's a little bigger than the concept art, the bigger fangs, and really emphasizing this nose bridge. Yeah, so this, I think, is the direction I'm going. This is a more recent one that I did, trying to make it a little more realistic, but I wasn't quite sold on that. But the next step I did is I actually made a mini concept sculpt, and this is that. I sometimes have trouble visualizing 3D things and trying to draw them in 2D. Like there's a disconnect there a little bit. So when I take and actually sculpt something small, then I can kind of get a better handle on the shapes that I want. You can see this cool bridge of the nose that I was talking about, and the eye placement, trying to figure out how big of brows I need to make. I talked a little bit more about that problem with, you know, this brow part of the worgen gets pretty heavy on the males. And, you know, I think this is a little more direction, and I really dig the detail that I put in the ear. So I think that this is a really good guide for what I'm going to do. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the glimpse into my thought process behind how I get ready to build a big project like this. The next step is going to be sculpting. I'm planning on getting some cool time-lapse videos of that process, so that should be exciting. And I'm really excited to keep you guys updated with videos, and I hope that you enjoyed this one, and if you did, know that I will be back again soon with another update video, and you can subscribe so you get an update for that and everything. And I just hope that you'll enjoy seeing this whole build come together. You can also follow my updates on my Facebook and my Twitter. On Twitter, I use the hashtag Project Greymane to tag all my posts about it, so you can catch up even if you don't catch them live. So there you have it. Hope to see you again soon. I'm Kaz.